Hello everybody and welcome to episode 20 of Minecraft Eternal. I'm your host as always, Power Boss, and tonight I am going to be continuing what I started last episode of doing bees and gendistry. I got a little hung up last night doing 5x ore processing, and I'm sorry about that. It took a little bit longer than expected. So I'm hoping tonight is going to more than make up for it because people have been asking me to do bees for quite some time. I got all the machines built except for the beginning two, which I'm going to do here on stream in a little bit. I'm going to go over a quick recap of 5x ore processing that I made down below. And we are going to continue on with exploring what it's going to take to do bees. I've got a few little extra excerpts for what it's going to take. Little tidbits here and there to help you along, and hopefully I can explain this correctly. So yeah, we're going to level up our shuriken because we are going to attempt to fight the Ender Dragon. It's needless to say going to be an extremely difficult fight, and it's probably going to take up a good portion of the episode because we need to go to the end for getting one of the bees. I'm going to go over quite a bit in this stream, so I hope you enjoy. If you have any questions and you are here, you can either catch me on stream or you can ask me questions on the Discord. Those of you who don't know, I will eventually post a link to it. If all goes well between this stream, doing bees and leveling up the shuriken and fighting the end dragon, I'm not going to get all the way up to the energy bee for what it's going to take to be able to fully get to the energy queen, but I'll be doing it over the next couple episodes here and there. This is just to get you started, lots of explanation and why. But hopefully, like I said, if everything goes well this episode, like it's supposed to, then tonight is also going to be the last episode of 1.4.4. Next stream, episode 21, whenever I get around to it, will be upgrading to Minecraft Eternal version 1.5 with an added bonus of a Thaumcraft showcase. I am looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. So, without further ado, let us let's get this show on the road, shall we? Alright, so, hey Emperor, how's it going? So as you can see, I've got power coming in here. It's using about 1000 RF per tick. Of course, you want to disable the limit to make sure that everything gets energy. Got an ender chest for final output, and it basically zigzags the machines. This is the easy part. You can do the first 3 machines for ore tripling. The last 2 machines are for ore quadrupling, but both of them require extra resources, as you can see, oxygen and hydrogen chloride, which is not too difficult to get. And then, of course, back here I have an oxygen buffer and right here I have the hydrogen chloride buffer. I know it's a little bit of a mess of machines, but it's not too difficult to get going. If I really wanted to, I could further increase the output production of sulfur from the Crafter Tier 1 by either time in a bottle on the garden cloche right here, or maybe freeing up room, changing the cables a little bit so that I can make another garden cloche here, and changing the color coding on this little cable right here, and getting a second garden cloche producing more sulfur seeds. I did put some bone meal in here. You don't have to. It does help a little bit. But basically it turns the sulfur essence into sulfur, and it makes 8 at a time. It then pulls out and processes in a chemical oxidizer. As you can see, the sulfur dioxide is building up, and when it hits max, this will fill up to 64. And you don't have to wait, but I would recommend it, because once you get started processing ores, it's going to get used up very, very quickly. Like I said, the oxygen, this is a buffer for the first machine right here. It's full. I upgraded them all to elite factories, so they hold the most. I did also fill in all the upgrades. Well, not on these machines, I don't think. At least not all of them. And I can still fill in more. But basically, you have a water producer of some sort. I'm using the compact infinite water source. You can also upgrade it to a dense, but it takes a while. Into a black hole tank, which, as you can see, holds currently about 21 million. So you don't have to worry too much about using up water. And the water goes to 3 places. It goes to chemical washers. It goes to the electrolytic separator down here to make your hydrogen and oxygen. The hydrogen then gets pumped out, as you can kind of see here with this ender gas conduit. If I go around the other side, it's color coded, and the hydrogen goes to here. And as you can see, it's making the hydrogen chloride because it is getting the fluid crafter's salt. Salt, I have 2 chemical oxidizers that's producing right here. I extended this a little bit because right here, if you can make salt better, which this is one of the best ways of doing it. The other best way, this is actually the slow crafting method. The faster way is using the multi-block structure for the thermal thermal evaporation machine. It's a multi-block structure. You're going to have 2 valves, 1 controller, and then it's going to be exactly a 2x2 structure inside. You're going to only put it on the bottom flooring, and then the top is open, and then you can further increase that by 2 different methods, either solar or a heater. There's a couple of other ways of heating it. Thermal generator, I think, is one. No, that's not one. There's other methods of heating it, of course. And that's just going to take another thermal evaporation valve to do so. I may build it just to show you. It's also to get lithium. And of course, lithium comes from the brine, which we are also getting here from the rotary condensator. It's turning the gaseous brine, which is coming from the chemical oxidizers and the salt, and then the brine is getting separated in the electrolytic separator into sodium, which you don't need any of, so you just dump it, and then, or you can just dump the excess if you eventually want to use sodium, because let's face it, sodium itself, it only becomes liquid sodium. And liquid sodium is not really used for much. You can do it in a salt mixer with potassium or molten potassium, and liquid sodium can make nuclear craft liquid UTEC NaC alloy. I don't know what UTEC NaK alloy stands for. You'd have to be a rocket scientist, which is exactly what nuclear craft is. But again, it comes out, as you can see, I color-coded it blue, which goes down to here, which fills up this side of a chemical infuser with the hydrogen that we have from earlier, which is what's making chloride. And then it fills up the hydrogen chloride. This is your bottleneck right here. Once this fills up and backs up, you'll pretty much have a very good supply to do all your ore processing, and it'll stay full. And by the time your ore processing is done, you let it sit and it builds up again. That's why you have the ultimate gas tank buffers here and here. This one's for the oxygen, this one's for the the hydrogen chloride, which fills the two machines. Over here, after it leaves the chemical oxidizer for the sulfur, sulfur dioxide gets turned with oxygen, which is coming from our machine over there, and makes oxygen. Oh, well, that's not right. I'm going to have to color code this one and use a dropper to clear it. So I got to color code this one properly for getting that oxygen out of there. Let's see. Oxygen is coming out from here. So we're going to extract on black. No. We'll do it with magenta. And this is going to insert magenta, I believe. Nope, that's the wrong color. So we're going to disconnect that for a second. Oh, that would be why. That's going to have to set to extra. No? That is supposed to insert. Okay, I screwed up a little bit here. So that's the oxygen side, which is feeding from this ultimate gas tank. And let's see, because this is supposed to be exporting on black, which is up here, which is supposed to be the sulfur trioxide. Okay. So this oxygen, yeah, I know I gotta have a wrench to reconnect it. I have one in my inventory. I just gotta get my colors straight here. Because the oxygen is gonna go to magenta, no, back to red. Because red goes, no, not red. What's that other one? Green. Okay, and then the other side is the hydrogen. which on this side it is extracting on cyan. That's what I need to make it. Okay, let me get out my handy dandy wrench and change this to cyan. Okay, now that that's fixed, how did I manage to get stuck there? Let's see. I have a handy dandy dropper. And that's filled with oxygen. And then to do it, nope, this way. There we go. Now it's fixed. Yeah, that's exporting oxygen to green. And then this is importing and the gas conduits don't connect anywhere, so I need to connect this right here. There we go. Bingo. That's what it was. Okay, so I fixed it. As you can see, I added the entire 5 rows like I promised. This is all the simple connection that it is. One row has just the energy because the machine itself does not need anything. It gets fed from this previous machine, which just takes water, which also gets fed from this previous machine, which gets the sulfuric acid, which is produced by this machine right here. As this fills up and the water vapor fills up, the water vapor is coming from this machine right here, just regular water, also filled from the black hole tank. And as the sulfur trioxide fills up this left side, the sulfuric acid will combine from the water vapor and then gets fed out by white to the ultimate gas tanks. And as you can see, all these are filled, and it filters all the way down into these machines. And the items that you want to duplicate, or in this case quintuple, all your ores just get dropped in here and it gets pulled out, and it does 5 at a time. Ideally you want 7, because you can do up to 7 in the injecting factory and across all the machines because they are elite. Otherwise it's just going to double up 1 or 2 of them. Depends on how much of what you put in. But again, you don't want to have these auto sort, because otherwise if you're doing more than 1 ore, it's going to bottleneck. Of course, these signalum plated item ducts and this signalum servos you can upgrade to the enders and have faster item transport, which are going to be the crystals out of here. I do need to do some osmium so I can get an osmium crystal. So I will drop one of those in so I can get it. I don't know why that's there, but okay. We can put away our wrench now. And just to make sure that it's still going, let's see. This is exiting on black. And this one should be inserting on black. Yeah. So it's just a matter of why is this not combining hydrogen and oxygen. That's wrong. Okay then. That is the wrong color. Let's see. What's this one up here? Extract on blue. That's the brine. And turning brine into the hydrogen chloride. That's supposed to be oxygen and sulfur dioxide. So let's choose a new color, shall we? Let's do this one on yellow. This one's going to not extract the hydrogen. So this one's going to be yellow, insert, and I gotta have my handy dandy dropper to put it elsewhere. I can't believe I did that wrong again. Boy, what's wrong with me? Now all you're doing is left clicking. The dropper can hold 1,000 at a time. Nope, it doesn't go there. Hydrogen. This guy. So just so you know, I'm left clicking to empty, or excuse me, left clicking to fill the dropper, emptying the chemical infuser, and then I'm right clicking to dump it into the electrolytic separator. And you do want these both on dumping the excess. One more. There we go. Sulfur dioxide is filling back up. Now that that's correct. Okay. Now I did put speed and energy upgrades into here. You don't really need them, but the faster that you can produce the oxygen and the hydrogen, the better. I don't know how that happened, but okay. And of course the sulfur dioxide is backing up and filling up here. And of course we have the extra sulfur here that will eventually get pulled out. And these are your two bottlenecks: creating the salt and doing the auto crafting from the garden cloche. Again, the salt is the slower way. The thermal evaporator is the faster way. And of course, color coding these does not hurt. If you want to try and space it out so you don't have them overlapping in a mess like this, you know, more power to you. And then and this is how it all works. So we're going to go ahead and throw in an osmium. Just one. It's going to go in and get immediately pulled out. As you can see, where to go? It's in one of the machines. I don't know where it went. It should have gone into this one right here. Let's try that again, shall we? Let's drop a few more in this time. Okay. There we go. It is in the first one, and it's creating osmium slurry. Why isn't that moving out? I think these are supposed to be fluids. Problems, problems, problems. I mean, it was working before. No, I thought that too, but when I had it flipped around, it wasn't pulling anything at all. Well, actually, wait. You might be onto something there. Let's disconnect all of these, like before. No? It's not moving. Let's just try this. Nope. So it is a gas conduit. What the hell? Ah. Extract always active. Insert. I did just spin the washer. Nothing happened. Alright, so I'm going to take these down real quick, and I'm going to change them out for something else. Because I did, however, make nope, that's not it. Maybe I didn't. Let's try these instead. Okay. And of course you need your configurator for this part. I couldn't have the chamber wrong, could I? That's what it was. I had the chamber wrong. Boy. Which means I probably have the rest of these machines wrong. There we go. So now okay, osmium slurry to clean osmium slurry. And now it's filling up into osmium crystals. And we're just going to grab one out of here. And as you can see, crystal flies through. And then as you can see, the machines start working. So we're going to go ahead and set the rest of these up properly. Actually, I'm not going to use those. I'm going to go back to our ender gas conduits here. Whoops. So this is going to be extract, always active, insert, 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 and insert. And these are going to be extract, always active, extract, always active, extract, always active, and extract, always active. Okay, now this is correct. Now I could have left them all connected. I chose not to because you don't want to do it that way, because then things start getting really messy and backed up and things like that. You could leave them because if something is wrong, like there's a piece of slurry left in a machine, then it'll automatically seek it out, but then you could have slurry spread out across multiple machines and not filling any particular one properly. So you don't want that. You don't want them to cross. But now say this last machine gets slurry left in it over here on this side. Yes, it's going to go through, but if it doesn't have enough to go through the chemical washer, it's going to stay right here on this side over here, or in the left side over here in the crystallizer. And then if this, say, has iron left in it, and then this one has gold in it, the gold's never going to process because it's never going to become enough iron to come out of here. You're going to have to use your dropper, and it's a whole big mess. So it's always best to make sure that when one's going in, it continually goes in there. And as you can see, it's using up the hydrogen chloride. Hydrogen chloride over here is getting used up. And there things are going. So now we're fixed. It was literally a case of the machines being turned the wrong way in the center. So there we go. So now this is working properly. And at any point that I want, I can now drop in all the ores that I want, and I have plenty of resources coming in and backed up enough that it has a reserve in case it needs to process more or faster somewhere. So that's good. Okay, so that's fixed. Now that that's out of the way, a recap is done. I still need to figure out 2 more essences that I want to put in here. I don't need too many more garden cloches per se, but at the same time, you know, it's not really that much of a bother. Just checking to make sure I have nothing left in these machines here. Good. On we go. So I went ahead and prepared the machines. These 3 up here are the ones you do not need. You can use them for my crystallizers are rotated on. What? They are not. Oh, fiddlesticks, you're right, they are. God. Gosh darn it. Okay, now that's fixed. Thank you. How you saw that, I have no idea. Anyway, back to what I was saying now. I guess I should make the patterns for the pressurized ultimate actual cables while I'm thinking about it. Yes, I did make the patterns for the labware, the gene templates, and the crash problems. While you're watching my stream, as I was saying, I got the blank gene samples here. Let's see. I got the labware here, genetics labware, and the genetic templates as I need them. Alright, so we're going to make templates for the basic pressurized tube, the advanced pressurized tube, the elite pressurized tubes, and the ultimate pressurized tubes. And then if we type in ultimate, since we have both of those, which are the RF, the universals, and the pressurized tubes, I don't think we need the logistical transporters or the mechanical pipes, because we can use other things for the fluids. Although I guess the ultimate mechanical pipes could be useful too. I'll come back to those. If I need them, I can make them. So let's find a place to put them, shall we? We got some space right here. And this will allow me to autocraft straight to the ultimates as I need them. Alright. And eventually we're going to double up on these machines over here on the left side, switching around these last 2. I knew there was another machine I was missing there. I finally figured out what it was. Anyway, as I was saying, we're going to do bees tonight. And we have the DNA extractor. Just looks like this. It literally just fills with RF, put in labware, and you put in drones, and it creates genetic something or other. Maybe it's a drone. I don't know. Put something in there and it gives you something. This one is the protein liquefier. Fill it with RF. You put in drones and it gives you the protein. And then you take both of those and you put them into the genetic replicator along with RF as well and labware, and it creates bees from nothing. But they are drones, not princesses or queens, just so you know. It can be helpful if you're trying to find something specific, but generally these you don't need. So I'm just going to go ahead and break these machines. Okay. I'm going to keep them, but I'm not going to use them. Okay. So here's the rest of the machines. You know the industrial apiaries. You put a queen or a princess up here, and you put the drones down here, and you get your results of the honeycombs and drones over here, and when the queen dies, you'll get a princess. But I'm going to go over that in a little bit. This little check mark makes sure that it's always on, and it tells you if the queen that is in here is happy or not, or what's wrong with it. Again, you supply it with RF, and it works. These are for upgrade slots. As you can see here, we have all these upgrade frames and things like that. I'm going to be building all of these up here in a second. Okay? And then I have extra apiaries because you want to have, honestly, more than one. You never really need more than two per se, but having more is always good for multiple reasons. Okay? You have your mutagen producer. You fill it with redstone, and it gives you mutagen. Supply with RF, and it just works. Then it goes immediately into the advanced mutatron, which, as it fills up, you stick labware inside, and this is the machine that basically crossbreeds for you, eliminating the randomness that can come from the mutatron or using any of the apiaries itself to crossbreed. This takes the guesswork out when you put in a queen, or excuse me, a princess and a drone. You get all the selected outputs that it can possibly be. It'll process, and then it'll come over here where you get your crossbreed that you can then do other things with. This one is the genetic imprinter. Basically, you'll take your gene samples or your what's the other one? The gene sample or the genetic template, and then you put a princess or a drone, not a queen, and it will give you those traits. Whatever you have on it, it will go in there as it processes. And I'll go over that more as we go through the process. I connected a chest to it, a crate, so that way, you know, if you stick a whole stack of 64 in and you want them all to be the same, it just outputs them into the crate, and there you go. As you can see, I've already filled most of these machines up with labware because that's what they need. The transposer literally will copy either I want to say a drone, a queen, or a princess, and then you put drones in here and it'll give them the traits. You can also do it with the genes or the genetic templates, and only the drones and princesses go here, not the queens. And again, once it's done, it goes into the output here. The genetic sampler, basically you stick in drones here. I wouldn't do the princesses, but you can probably do them too. And then these blank gene samples will fill up on this side with one of 13 possible traits. If I pull up the gene templates again, yeah, here you go. As you see, it can be applied to a bee, 13 of 13 chromosomes. Each bee will have a species, whether it sleeps, works at night or not, flowering, how fast it pollinates, the speed at which it will process through your industrial apiary, It also is how often it produces whatever can come out of the bee, such as the honeycombs or drones, whether it tolerates rain or not, what type of flowers. There is, I want to say, about 4 or 5 different ones. You have poppies and regular daisies, dandelions. You have chorus flowers, which is from the nether. You have cacti, and I think that's it. There might be one more I'm missing. But the flowers is what type of flowers it uses to pollinate with. The lifespan, how long it'll last. The effects, some of them have a few different effects, and we're going to go over those. Whether it tolerates rain or not. Excuse me, the humidity tolerance is the temperature that the bee can survive in. I'm sorry. Tolerating rain is whether it's raining outside or not, whether the bee will work or not. The fertility, usually that is how much is produced every time it does produce given the speed. The territory, how large of a radius it covers. Whether cave dwelling it needs an open sky or it can be underground. We have it inside, so we want cave dwelling to be true. And then temperature tolerance, whether it's a desert, a cold biome, a hell biome, a plains biome. That's what the temperature tolerance is. Both the humidity tolerance and the temperature tolerance are plus and minus 5. Sometimes you can get, +1 plus 5, +2 plus 3, 3 plus 4, 4 plus 1. It's all up to chance of what those get. The closer to 5 and 5 that you can get, the better. But these are the types of things that one of those traits is going to get put onto a drone from a blank gene sample, and then you use the blank gene sample that you can put it onto a genetic template. And then again, it's going to go into this crate right here after it just finishes processing. So you can do 2, 3, 4 stacks of the bees. However, once the blank gene samples have something on them, even if they're the same, they will not stack. So just keep that in mind. That's why it's good to use a crate for this method. And then I moved my redstone furnace from outside in here. As you can see, it still has its upgrades, so it fast processes. Supply it with power, and then you change the output to go left, so it'll go back into here, into the crate, and basically any of the traits that you don't want to keep off of the blank gene samples from the chest, you put in here, burning it, it'll clear it back out, and they're reusable. You don't need too many of them, but considering there's 13 chromosomes and there's multiple options for each chromosome, you want it. The main things that you want to keep separate, well, we'll get to that. So first we're going to look and see if we have any more hives to break. We have 7 deep hives that I found. And if we look into our AE system, we have no hives here. Okay. So we're going to take out our handy dandy scooperator, just like before. This is still set, so we put it into the upper left slot only. And then you just back off, put it down, and wait for it to break. And you do that for all the hives that you have collected. Oh, I stood in front of it. Haha. Yeah, don't stand in front of it. Then you take it back out, and then this is harmless. Yeah, you want to do it from the side, not from the front. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to get another random crate. I don't have one there. Do I have one here? Don't have one there. Do I have a chest? I have 2 chests. So I'm going to take 4 of them out. And I'm going to put 2 double chests over here. So we're going to put, let's just say, let's just put it over here a little bit. Make sure we can open both of them. Good. So now we have to get all of our drones and princesses and queens and pull them out. Again, the drones stack. We have no princesses. And that's not a queen, that's Pam's. So then drones, we can take them all out from here. We're going to put them all down here. And we're also going to put away our honeycomb as well. Okay, and then our princesses. These ones, however, we're going to something that we're going to have to take a look at. So we're going to put, for now, all of them in here. I'm going to get to that imp. And do we have any queens? No. Okay. We're just going to dump all these in here. Perfect fit. Okay. Scooperator can currently go away. Alright. So what Emperor was saying is, for B specifically, anything that has to do with Apierre is specifically for forestry, namely bees. So if we pull up anything Apierre, we have all these different options. Okay, we have the Apiaris Pipe, which is just transporting stuff, but it's only for anything to do with forestry, bees, gendistry. That's all it works for. Any honeycombs or bees or drones, princesses, queens, things like that is what the Apiaris Pipe does. These are also color-coded, I believe, and if not, there is a way to color-code them where you can pick and choose what goes in and out where. But that's from Buildcraft. That's not generically inherent to forestry. Okay, of course, each of the dark steel and the end steel have apiarists, and the Apiaris enchantment. There's the specific Apiaris armors, and of course, the helmet looks like a beekeeper. It says protection against bees. That's if we weren't doing it the way that I'm breaking the hives, but more so later on, bees basically do special damage where if you get an angry bee in your industrial apiary, you will take damage. Even with full best armor in the game, you can take a lot of damage from bees. So this mitigates the damage. The pattern for crafting these, you need the armors. The armors themselves, we'll take the woven silk, which we're going to get into how to make that later. But what he was talking about is you have the Apierre's backpack, which has 125 slots. Okay, you carry this on you, you can configure it, and when you go out for things like hives, or you actually break the hives out in the world and get the bees, this can hold 125 slots worth of things. Do note that the princesses do not stack for a reason. Or queens if you're lucky enough to get one. But generally, more often than not, you're going to still get the drones. Maybe you'll get lucky and also get the honeycombs to go with it, whatever it produces, depending on which hive you break. And if I were to type in hive, there's a whole bunch of different hives that can come out of it. But what it says that it needs for the crafting is the Aprs Chest. This chest, simple crafting, it takes any 5 honeycombs, any sort of a regular chest, and any sort of a glass. And if you look over it, it doesn't tell you what it does. Now what this does is specifically fill a whole bunch of bees, drones, honeycombs, so that you don't have to actually carry them in regular chests or crates. It's only for everything to do with bees. We're going to make some of those, but in order to make some of those, well, we could probably make some right now, actually. Let's see if we have what we need for it. Not in here, apparently. I think I moved everything into here. Yeah, there we go. We're going to make 2 of them. No, actually we're going to make 3 of them. And I'll show you why in a little bit. There's also the regular Apiary, which is from Ham's Harvest Craft. That is to produce from the queen. Of course, that smelts. But the Apierre itself takes the queen bee from Pam's Harvest Craft, and it has wax comb 50% or honeycomb at 45%. And also bee grubs at 5%. So it's 100% that you're going to get something. Whether you can get more than one, I don't know. I haven't really done it. But then, of course, you can take these and do other things with them. You can make the wax comb blocks. You can separate them into pressed wax, more pressed wax, and you can also sell 16 at a time for 1 emerald. Or maybe it's buying 16 at a time from 1 emerald. The honeycombs do the same thing. You get a honeycomb block instead, but this one actually can give you honey. That's good for Pam's Harvest Craft because you can use honey to make more foods, of course. And then 16 also sells for 1 emerald. And then last but not least, the bee grub. You can craft dragon meal with it. It makes different types of foods, some that we don't have, as you can see here. And there's a whole bunch of different crafting recipes within Pam's to do so. You can smelt it and it becomes a cooked grub. The regular bee grub cannot be eaten, but the cooked grub can. You could smelt it, campfire it. There's a whole bunch of different things that you can do with it. 16 regular bee grubs will sell for 1 emerald. Then, of course, any way you can cook it becomes a cooked grub. So, now what do these Apier's chests do? Okay, well, I'm going to put one down and show you. So as we open it, it tells you that it can hold 191 species of bees in here. 0 of them are queens, 0 of them are princesses, 0 of them are drones. And there's 5 pages worth of holding stuff. So what we're going to do first is place down 2 of them. Okay, I'm going to separate out the drones and the princesses. I'm going to put the other one there. First, we're going to take all of our drones. Okay, we're going to put our drones in this one over here. Okay, and now this chest can be completely dismantled. Okay, and it can go back into our system. Now here's where it gets really interesting and stuff. Why it's not registering that there's drones in here, I don't know. Oh, because it hasn't identified them yet. Aha. Yeah, basically when you mouse over them, it's going to show you the name of it, what it looks like, which you can clearly see by mousing over it anyway, and then all the stuff that it can crossbreed into. That's what mousing over them inside the Apier's chest does. Okay? But they have to be identified in order to work. We're not there yet. And I don't know why those aren't closing, but okay. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Okay? All of these princesses have two things on them. You have what's called ignoble stock and pristine stock. The GUI for the Aprs Chest is 5 tabs that can be cycled through using the arrows. The pane on the left shows how many bee species the user has found, breaks it down into how many queens, princesses, and drones have been found. Hovering over a bee in the inventory will display information about the bee, including what other species can be bred from that bee, but only if that information has been found using a beealyzer. That's kind of what I was just saying. You have to identify them with this little guy right here, the portable analyzer. And we're going to get there. We're not there yet. But, yeah. That's right. We also are going to need a mechanical squeezer. This guy. We'll make that in a minute. Okay, but as I was saying, each bee has ignoble stock and pristine stock. So we're going to take all of our ignoble stock out. And I'm going to go over what those mean. That's a drone. That shouldn't be there. Nope, that's pristine stock. Okay. So our ignoble stock is going to go in this one. And I'll go over why this is important to know the separation between ignoble and pristine is so important. Alright, continue getting ignoble stocks out. And once we have these all emptied, all the rest will be left pristine stock, which is a good decent amount of them. Almost 2 full rows of 9. So 17 different pristines. That's good. Now do note that you want to make sure that you get as many different types of bees that you can. The more pristine bees that you get, the better. And I'll show you why. Because this is what we're going to do. Alright, so now all of our ignoble stock, our pristine stock, and our drones are all separated. And there we go. And then again, those 2 chests can go away. So now what do we need to do to get started? Well, we need the beealyzer. It's pretty simple, but we need a carpenter to do it. So to make the carpenter, we're going to have to get some bronze ingots, some glass, and a sturdy casing. So we need the sturdy casing, which is literally just bronze. Okay. Then we're going to take that and we're going to make ourselves a carpenter. Then we're going to need a fermenter. So we're going to need another sturdy casing. We're going to need some bronze gears. Okay. And you really only need one of each of these. I'll have to get rid of those in a minute. Can't do the impregnated casing yet, but we can get the Clockwork Engine. We're going to need a copper gear. And we're going to need a peat-fired engine. So we need 2 more copper gears. Another piston. I'm only briefly putting it into my inventory so that it can register and give me the quest rewards as I get them. So if I look, I got quest rewards to gain down here in Introduction to Science, down here in the lower left. Hi-Fay. Now why didn't it give me the peat-fired engine? This, well, sturdy casing, I need 4 of them. Oh, that's why. Why didn't it register the sturdy casings? There we go. Okay, we got our fermenter in our inventory. Hey, we got a spaghetti and meatballs. Carpenter. And the last thing that we're going to need is the centrifuge. And I need to take out the peat-fired engine again. There we go. Okay. Last thing that we're going to need is our mechanical squeezer. So we're going to need, let's see what we have actually. We have the diamond, we have the obsidian. We're going to need the energy battery, which takes crystallized mineral chunks and block of crystallized mineral. Do we have any minerals? We do not. So the mineral saplings in the overworld, so we just got to find a blue tree. So we'll go and do that in a little bit. Can we get a regular squeezer in the meantime? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and put our regular squeezer down right there. And I'll show you how to use this in a second. Next, we're going to need to put down our Carpenter. Now it needs patterns filled in here. It's going to show you the output here and what it's going to take to process it. This is when it's processed. You fill in here for the pattern. And right above, we're going to put our fermenter, which it makes fruit juice, water, and honey. Honey goes here, water goes here. We'll get that later. And then you put the items that you want to juice right here. Comes out here on the bottom after a long process, and then it comes into biomass over here, and then you can use capsules to move it around places. Okay. Let's get the peat-fired engine claimed. Steel ingot. Okay. We need the centrifuge and the thermonic fabricator. Both of those will come. But we can take that off, Fermenter, the sturdy casing, and the Carpenter. I'll probably move these around a little bit. But now, to make the portable analyzer, we need to use the Carpenter with some water. So, is that everything? 4 tin, 2 redstone, diamond, and 2 glass panes. Why did it only give me 1 redstone? Okay. But that goes into the Carpenter. Now we just need to supply it with water. And note that you can use seed oil, water, or honey. As a matter of fact, do we have any honey? No. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're just going to grab a bucket. And just use water for the time being. Slime somewhere. Now do note that you're probably going to want more than one of the Carpenters, because there are different patterns that require different things. Eventually we're going to fill it up where we have one of each of them, one with honey, one with water. But for the time being, we just got that. Why is that not making it? Oh, because it needs 2 buckets of water. You know what? What am I doing? Huh. When did that get emptied? You know what, let's just fill it up all the way. I will eventually upgrade these two reservoirs. As you see, it got made. We clear out this pattern now. Just click and it goes away. Can't click and drag, but now we have our portable analyzer. So what does this do? Well, we put in our honey here, and then we put our bee in here. It'll use the honey, and then drone, queen, or princess will identify it, and you click on the different tabs and it tells you different things about the bee. As you can see here, the analytics available will be the general information, the environment, what it produces and how much, and the evolution. And then tab 5 is just real world stuff. You don't really need to worry too much about that one. So now we can put this up here with the rest of our stuff for the time being. And we're going to take our first bee. So we're going to choose a generic forest and the same forest drone. We have one. So that's perfect. We need more. So we're going to take our princess, our drone. They're going to mate, and it's going to turn the princess into a queen and use up the drone. And then, as you can see here, it says it's too cold, not bright enough, not daytime, no flowers, and the sky is obstructed. That's where these little upgrades come in handy over here. To make them, it's just as simple as this. So we want to make sure that we get the flowering upgrade. We want to make sure that we get the open sky upgrade. We're going to get the lifespan upgrades and the automation upgrades. Get a couple of humidifiers and cooler upgrades and production upgrades. So we're going to use all of these. And those are the really important ones. And then, if we just grab ourselves a bone meal, okay, might need a few bone meal. There. That's all we need for the moment. Okay, and if we look, it'll take a second. You take it out and put it back in, and it should register the flowers. Okay, but not bright enough, too cold, and sky obstructed are the ones that we want to worry about. So we're going to go into our crafting. We're going to make ourselves a couple of these blank upgrades. We need more gold nuggets. So we're going to stick this in. Let's get a whole stack of them, because we'll make quite a few upgrades. We'll start with 16. Then we want to make sure that we get the production upgrades. But the first one we want is the open sky. We're going to need to make 4 of them. Not sure if this one will work, but we're going to try. Yep, it works. but we're going to get 4 of them. Right now we only need the 2 because we don't have but one going. Take one, put it in there. Okay. Next thing we're going to address is the fact that it says it's too cold. So we want to raise the heat up. And I did not grab the heat one. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make ourselves a heat upgrade. Nope. Yeah, there we go. We want enough to be able to make 4 of them, 1 for each machine if we need it. Okay. Now it's saying that it's not bright enough. So we need the light upgrade. And there we go. As you can see, it's registered the flowers, and it's working. Here's your progress bar. It does go slow at first, but we're going to fix that after 1 cycle of this beat. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just time in a bottle. And just watch it go through. And as you can see, 1 cycle, killed it, gave us a princess, gave us a forest drone. While the time in the bottle's still going, we're going to put 1 back in. We're just going to let the time in the bottle do its thing for the moment. No, it's finished. Okay. So now the drones can go in back into here. And what we're really waiting on is the honey, the honeycomb. While we're waiting on a second bee to process, we're going to get ourselves another carpenter so that we can fill it with honey. And this carpenter, we're going to take out the water, and we're going to move this one probably up 1. Because it doesn't need power. So actually, theoretically, we can take both of these carpenters and we're going to put them right in between our chests. Well, that one with the water. The one for the honey is going to go right here next to our squeezer and eventually our mechanical squeezer. And I'll show you why. And while we're at it, we might as well move the fermenter down. Actually, we'll put another carpenter here on the right side. Can we make the centrifuge? Yes, we can. But in order to make the Apierre, we're going to have to start getting the impregnated casings, which is made in the Carpenter with wood and water. Or no, I'm sorry, seed oil. Okay, so our other Carpenter is going to go on the right side, and our centrifuge, we'll just put that right up top. So far we're unlucky, we haven't gotten ourselves a honeycomb. But we can take the portable analyzer off. And we'll work to getting the mechanical squeezer when we find ourselves minerals. Just a blue tree. We'll have to go search for one. So let's go and venture out and find it. Our bee will stay processing here. We just need to find ourselves a blue tree. And look at that. Nope, that's a silver wood. Oh, looky what I see over here. A whole bunch of different types of bluish trees. Magic leaves, magic leaves. Magic wood, we'll probably get some of that later. Oh look, another battle tower. We're just exploring, trying to look for our mineral tree. Huh, dimension door thing. World Gen broke it. White willow. Finding magic leaves everywhere. It's a lush swamp. Let's see here. Froze a little bit. Can't handle the world generation. And here we go. We found our mineral trees. So it's like a light greenish color. I got a seagull. Okay then. I need the feathers. I just love how fast the atomic disassembler is. Hey look, chicken. Let's go this way. Now, what do we got over here? Oh my. You know what? Geronimo. A Viking chest. Oh, look, permafrost. Alright. Back home we go. We've got what we needed. So we can put our magma cube pet away. Uncommon Village Bookstore. Okay. Let's go check on our bees now. It's almost done. Now something else that we want to craft is, where is it? This little guy right here, the automation upgrade. I don't know how I left that out. Oh wait, no I didn't. It's right there. Oh, I see. It's hidden behind the stuff. Okay, so what does the automation upgrade do? Well, you see how it gave us another forest drone and, or 3 forest drones and another forest princess. Now it'll continually recycle the princess and then all of our drones can just go away. Still no honeycombs yet, but we do have a few combs already. So we have the mundane combs, some parched combs, and the molten combs. We have most mundane combs, so we're going to start with those. So for those, you just take them, right-click it in it, you know what? We need 2 blocks per side. Do we really only get that many? Green eggs and bacon. Gotta love some green eggs and bacon. some honey braid. Another Jaffa. Oh, some more garbage piles. That's good. Got ourselves another key, which gave us a red backpack. Now the backpack we don't need, the feathers we don't need, and the garbage piles we don't need. Our extra foods that we have eaten can go away. And then as we need them, we can do this. Alright. So let's go check on our bee again. Princess turned into a queen. Hey, we got our honeycomb. So we can always go back and harvest more mineral trees, but we have plenty of saplings that we can produce them on our own. I'm thinking I just want to get my one mechanical squeezer for the moment, which is going to take 6 more of the mineral itself, rather than waiting for the tree right here to grow. So we're going to head back south and go back to find more mineral. Long ways to travel. I already cleared that. Okay. Double checking just in case. If we look back in our journey map, we were way down here in the Meneglin. So basically we just got to make our way back down there. Of course, there's a structure here in the Mystical Grove. Another battle tower over there. Nope, that banshee can go away. Die. Sounds like there's another one nearby somewhere too. Oh yeah, there's definitely another one here somewhere. Maybe it's in that structure right there. Oh, there it is. Best way to kill a banshee: hit it from range, preferably if you can trap it. But if not, keep it away from you. And I don't know what that structure is, or that one over there, but I don't care. Ah, zombie. Okay. Alright, so we have 13 more. Let's go and get a little bit more. Okay. Okay. You know what, since we're here, let's check out this structure, because why not? Hey look, airtight seal. We'll need that. Okay, nothing. And there's this other structure over here. Whoa, where'd he come from? Must have spawned on the other side of the room from that. Okay. Alright. Killed the pretty fox. And what's this structure over here? That's a ginormous bee. Oh, it's an illager's outpost. Nothing too special. Okay then. Well, now that we have enough for making our mechanical squeezer, we can just go back home. Three more different unique foods and it'll increase my max health. Okay then. So we can deposit that. And we can make our mechanical squeezer energy batteries now. That's one. That's two. And last but not least, mechanical squeezer. There we go. Gets power. And now it will automatically do the honeycombs properly. Wait, no. I'm sorry. doesn't do the honeycombs. It goes into the centrifuge. But it does require power. So does the fermenter. However, the Carpenter does not. So let's move the Carpenter. No, let's just put it over here. Or no, I'm sorry. We're going to move the centrifuge over that way. You can leave the Carpenter right here. No? Yeah, we're going to move the Carpenter. We're going to move it up top. This is our pristine stock. I'm going to put the pristine stock over here. There we go. We're going to grab ourselves another leadstone flux duct and extend it out one. Here we go. First it loads it, then it blenders it. As you can see, we got beeswax over here. And we got our first honey drop. So the beeswax we're going to stockpile. And then we're going to take our portable beealyzer, one at a time. And we're going to take our honey drops and put them up there until that has 64 in them. And if we look, we got 4 more honeycombs here that we can perfectly squeeze. Or not squeeze, centrifuge. And of course, you can freely time in a bottle this. You don't need to do it too much because it does go pretty fast. And we got ourselves some magic wax. Okay, and we got ourselves some more honeycomb. And there we go. So we're going to take a little bit of it and put mechanical squeezer. As you can see, we get propolis and we get honey. Both are going to be important later. Then the rest of it we're going to put in here. Now as you can see, the queen is still producing and all the drones are getting put in the bottom. So now that we have plenty of drones and we have drones stored over here, what we're going to do is take our beealyzer, take one drone out, and we're going to analyze it. Okay, so in tab 1, once you drop it in, it goes here. It's a forest. Each one is going to have a primary and a secondary trait. Lifespan is shorter, slower, flowers, 3 times fertility, territory average, effect none. If we take it and we move it down to tab 2, this tells where it can go. This one works during the day, which is diurnal, Nocturnal works at night. Tolerant flyer means it can do it inclement weather. Cave dwelling means that it can be without sky. The tolerance of humidities and climates. Then what it can produce. In this case, it's just the honeycombs and the evolution. Anything that you can mutate it into, which we'll get into later. But the main tab that we're going to deal with is what is here. So this guy has nothing special on it. He's identified, so he shows up in everything that we can do. If we put him over in here, it shows species 1 of 191 now. That means there's 191 different species. These forest drones we can take out, and see they all stack, so they're all the same. He was part of this stack, so he's the same. But we're going to keep just the one. The rest of them, however, we're going to come over here, and we're going to put into our genetic sampler. It uses up 1 labware and 1 blank gene sample every time. Although it's not getting pulled out like it's supposed to be. So what we're going to do, we're going to empty this thing out. And we're going to move it up 1. Then we're just going to take a simple Ender IO conduit, plain item conduit. We're going to stick it right here. This one is going to be extract on green, extract on green, and insert on green. No extract. And there we go. And then we just wait for all the drones to process through. Now do take notice that I'm using ignoble stock, okay? I only have a very limited amount of pristine. Now what does that mean? Well, a pristine queen will never die. It has a lifespan, but it will never die. The lifespan is when it's in the industrial apiary. Eventually, it's going to run its course, and you're not going to get the princess back again. Okay, but when you come over here to the genetic imprinter, it is. I think it's the imprinter. Yeah. Say I had one of those gene samples with some traits on it for some of the 13 chromosomes. And then I put the princess in here, or drone, and I want it to get the traits that are on the gene template. Well, the ignoble queen or princesses have a chance of getting what's called genetic waste, which is this guy right here, which is good for absolutely nothing. Any drone or princess that is of ignoble stock can get genetic waste. Pristines, however, will always 100% get whatever you have in here put onto them, and you'll get it back guaranteed. It still has a lifespan, and it will still eventually die. But there's a way around that. And that's what this whole process is about. Now, it doesn't take exceptionally large amounts of time, but it is time consuming for the most part. And I'll show you what I mean here in a minute. Nope, not there. Here. Beeswax and honey. Again, our honey, we want mainly to go up in here because that's how we analyze our bees. At every time the queen finishes her cycle, we're going to get a product. Now you see all of our drones are done, and all of them got put up in here. So let's see what we got. Never sleeps, false, so that can go away. Temperature tolerance, no change, that can go away. Flowers, we're going to keep that one. And forest, we're going to keep that one. Cave dwelling is false, we want to get rid of that one. We have a flowers already, so that can go away. And here's a fertility 3, so we're going to keep that one. Okay? Now with these, if we just put these in the redstone furnace, it's supposed to go in the redstone furnace anyway. Why is it that going in the redstone furnace? Yeah, but that has my upgrades in it. As you can see, it clears them out. They're back to blanks. So we can reuse them. That's why you don't need more than maybe 2 stacks total of the blank ones. And then we can just stick them right back in there. So basically, every time we get a princess, or excuse me, a drone, we can now go and safely put them in to get genetic sampled. We're going to want to get as many of the traits. Yeah, but I do know it works. I have used the redstone furnace before. You know what? I'm going to try something here. Do I want to do it this way? No. It's supposed to be allowed to go in there. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab ourselves another crate or chest. Let's just get a small storage crate this time. Alright, so we'll have to get another machine to put there. Unless it wants to work now. No. But you know what? We can just do it this way. Instead of a redstone furnace, we got plenty of coal. Would the extra utilities machine be okay? It takes bricks. Let's try the simple powered furnace. You know what? Let's do an iron furnace. From Tech Reborn. Nope, that requires fuel. Okay, so let's try the electric furnace. There we go. And that'll put our blank samples back into here. Okay, so we got that sorted. And these augments can go away. So whatever reason, the redstone furnace isn't wanting to work, so any other furnace will do. If you use one that requires fuel, and you have it set up like I have here, you can throw the fuel source inside the small storage crate, and it will pull just the same into the electric furnace, or whatever furnace on the bottom for fuel. Alright, so we have our 4 current samples. So we're going to take these out. We're going to go to page 2 and we're going to pull out 4 of the genetic templates. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the genetic imprinter. And we'll take the forest. Or wait, no, not the imprinter, I'm sorry. Transposer. There we go. That's what we wanted to do. And now it is say, instead of 0 of 13, 1 of 13. So now if you hold shift, it shows you all of the traits that this genetic template has. So this is a forest. We're going to keep this one separate. Same thing with the fertility 3. And you see it has fertility 3. The flowers, we're going to put that in. And then the last one is for the lifespan. Okay. Now you cannot take two templates and combine them, I don't think. No. So now we have each of these set for something specific. So now what we can do is we can take out more drones, get more sampling going. Now do note that you're only going to get one per drone. Even though there's 13 chromosomes, it's a random effect of which one of the chromosomes it pulls. This has nothing for effect, and then the second one is going to be the same thing. So those, you can just toss right back in here, get them back, and they'll go blank right up in here. And then of course the blank samples can go right back into here to be used again. So basically what you're wanting to do, we're going to take out this automation upgrade. We're going to time it to bottle the queen. And we're just going to let her run her course. Okay. We're going to take her out. The drones, we're going to keep one of them. I'm going to throw the other two into the genetic sampler. And we're going to analyze the bees. First, the queen. Okay, so we're still wanting territory average, production slowest, pollination slower. Mind you, red is bad, blue is better. Except in certain circumstances, which I'm going to go over here in a minute. And then we don't need anything off of here. So once this gives us our pollination and our territory, this bee is currently done for now. We'll come back to it later. But now we're just going to leave it in here with the upgrade until we get what we need. So we've got lifespan shorter, which we have right here.